There are many ways to navigate Jonas Encore. Let's take a look at the different options we have available. First is the Application menu button that can be found in the top left-hand corner of your screen. Clicking this button will display a list of the last used programs and is divided up into two panels. Hovering over the items on the left will change the available options on the right. Items like the toggle pane have sub-menus that allow you to enable different toolbars and menus. The Reset UI settings will close all open panes and put the screen back to its factory settings. Next we have the ribbon, which we can see at the top of the screen here. The ribbon is one way of showing you all the modules that you have access to in your Jonas Encore installation. It appears at the top of the screen and can be minimized by right-clicking anywhere on the ribbon and selecting Minimize the Ribbon. Alternatively, you can double-click on the module headings to auto-hide the ribbon. You can pick and choose which programs you would like to appear on the ribbon by clicking the Additional Options icon, hovering over a submenu, right-clicking on your item, and choosing Add or Remove from Ribbon. You can also double-click on a program to launch it from here. Next is the Quick Access Toolbar, which is another way to quickly access your most frequently used programs, and will display below the ribbon for you. By adding program items to the Quick Access Toolbar and minimizing the ribbon, you can create more space on the working panel, which is the center panel you see on the screen here. If the Quick Access Toolbar isn't enabled, you can right-click anywhere on your ribbon and select Show Quick Access Toolbar below the ribbon. To add items to this toolbar, select an item from the ribbon by right-clicking and then choose Add to Quick Access Toolbar. To reposition the toolbar, you can click on the arrow and choose to show it above the ribbon. Next is the Modules pane, which displays the program items accessible in each module and can be found on the left-hand side of the screen. By default, the Modules pane is set to auto-hide up against the left side. Hovering your mouse over will cause it to pop out. To keep it pinned open, simply click the pin icon, or right-click on the Module pane toolbar and choose to hide or auto-hide. Once the pane is pinned, if you also right-click, you can set the pane to be dockable, which means the pane will be docked horizontally below the ribbon, or floating, where you can drag the pane anywhere on the screen. Within the Modules pane, clicking on the module name will open the available list of tasks, setup, and report sections. Clicking on the plus sign will expand the section for you, and the minus sign will collapse the section. Extra modules that don't have enough room to display within the pane can be found as icons at the bottom of the pane. Clicking on a module moves it to the top of the list. You can also adjust the viewing space by clicking and dragging the bar here to adjust the spacing on the pane. Now we have the Module, Toolbar, Main Toolbar, and Main Menu. These toolbars and menus are another way of displaying some of the more frequently used programs by module. They can be enabled through the Application menu button by clicking the menu button, toggle panes, and enabling the applicable pane, or by pressing the applicable F key that you see here. Another option is to right-click on your ribbon and enable one of those toolbars or menus. They can also be undocked by clicking and dragging the dots, or they can be prevented from moving around by right-clicking and choosing Lock the Toolbars. This will remove those dots, which means the toolbars cannot be moved. Then you have the status bar, which appears at the bottom of your screen, as seen here. It lets you know the date, who's logged in, and the version of your Jonas Encore program. It can be enabled by using the Application menu button or by pressing the F11 key. Next, let's take a look at common tasks. Most of the activity that takes place in the Jonas Encore program occurs in the working pane of the screen once a program is selected. Upon selecting a program, the program will load into the working panel in its own tab. Multiple programs can be used at the same time as they will all load within their own tabs. Programs can also be rearranged amongst themselves by clicking and dragging tabs into the order you'd like them to appear. They can be closed one at a time by right-clicking and choosing Close, or Close All by using the Close All option. Each program tab has the same common design consisting of a menu toolbar and a search toolbar. Each of these toolbars is movable unless docked and can be customized in the same way that the other toolbars can be modified. The menu toolbar also gives you the ability to add or remove buttons by clicking on the drop-down icons on the right. The rest of the tab is divided into an upper summary view and a lower summary view with a movable divider in the middle, which can be slid up or down to conceal or expose as much of the screens as you want. A highlight in the top section indicates what record you are selected on, and a selected row line number will appear at the bottom of the screen, indicating what record you are on out of how many records. For programs like Members that you see here, where there is a lot of information to display in the record section, the screen can be expanded into edit mode by clicking the green arrow, or shrunk back down to short view mode. The summary areas, column widths, and row heights can also be changed by dragging those dividers. Column width can be auto-sized by clicking the Reset button on the toolbar. Sorting of data by column can be done by clicking on the desired column header. And columns can have their display order changed in two ways. The first is by selecting a column and dragging it into the desired position. And the second includes clicking on the drop-down arrow and indicating which column you want the selected column to be swapped with. Another section of the working panel is the column selector pane on the far right. By default, it is set to auto hide, but can be pinned or unpinned as needed. This panel allows you to change the appearance of the summary section of the working panel's columns that are displayed. By default, all columns are visible, but you can suppress any of them you want by unchecking the column header. The data that is found in the columns still remains and can be edited in the Record Editing section, but will no longer display in the summary section. Now let's take a look at the buttons seen on the menu toolbar. The New button will create a new record in the lower record view section of the working panel. Delete is used to delete the selected rows in the upper summary section of the working panel. If the row is tied to some other records, a warning will appear giving you the option to delete them as well. This is normally not recommended. Duplicate is used to copy existing records. Use the Save button to save any new, edited, or copy records. An export can be used to send a raw dump of information from the summary section to an Excel file you specify in a location you indicate. Print will send the information you see in the summary section to a print preview window where it can be printed from there. For refresh, this can be used when multiple programs are open. If changes are made in one program tab that affect another, use this button to update data in the affected program tab. Without a refresh, recent changes will not appear. The Columns button is used to toggle on or off the column selector pane when the pane is not set to auto hide. View is used to toggle on or off the lower record view screen. Reset is used to set the working panel's default configuration for the position of the split between the summary area and the record edit view area if it has been moved around. Resize can be used to adjust any column widths that have been narrowed or widened to auto-fit the widest data in each column. The previous and next row allow you to advance forwards and backwards through the rows of the summary section. Help will open the available help documentation, and Close can be used to close a program tab. Below that in the search bar, you have the options to find if you want to specify a specific column you're searching information from. Method, used to set the rule that the search should use when trying to find what you need. Reverse lookup, using this 2 arrow icon, which is to set the method to not whatever it is. For example, if you selected Start With, adding the reverse lookup will give you a search that is returning all results that don't start with whatever characters you've entered in the Look For field. Case-sensitive search. If this icon is enabled, it will search the Look For field to pay attention to the case for that text you entered. And Look For is used to indicate what should be searched for. Any text entered in this field causes the summary area results to appear filtered as you type. Use the X icon to clear any text to reset the search. One of the last things to point out is the Customize screen. The Customize screen allows you as the user to configure your menu bar, toolbar, and module toolbar and set some of the behavior that you want the Jonas Encore interface to show. The screen is found by right-clicking on any of the toolbars or the ribbon and selecting Customize. In the Toolbars tab, it will display which toolbars are currently displayed and allow you to enable or disable the display of any of these toolbars with the checkboxes. Toolbars that have been customized can be reset to their factory settings by selecting the desired toolbar and clicking the Reset button. New custom toolbars can be created by selecting the New button. Custom toolbars created can be renamed or deleted. The standard toolbars cannot. The Commands tab allows you to customize your toolbars and menus. All the possible commands and programs are displayed on this tab. The first thing to do is click the Rearrange Commands button. This leads you into a screen where you can select which toolbar you want to change. Once selected, a toolbar can have items added, deleted, or moved up or down in the list. Items can be further manipulated by using the Modify Selection button. Within it, you can change the appearance of the item and even rename it to make more sense to you. If you made a mistake, use the Reset button on the screen to undo your changes to this toolbar. Lastly in here is the Options tab, which allows you to set your individual preferences for toolbars and menu effects. You can use it to change the way the menus display and appear. And lastly, the Keyboard button at the bottom of this window allows you to change or assign your own shortcut keys to commands or programs that you frequently use. Shortcut keys can be used to navigate throughout the Jonas Encore product. Here is a list of the standard default settings.